valuation of goodwill and shares. ROC, return on capital employed, or people call it as return on investment. Net profit divided by capital employed. Net profit divided by capital employed is the formula for return on capital employed. If you want to express that in terms of percentage, multiply it by 100. What do you mean by net profit? Profit after taxation minus preference dividend. PAT only. Like variable cost equal to contribution and fixed cost equal to profit before interest and taxation, interest, profit before taxation, taxation, profit after taxation, then preference dividend, equity earnings, then equity dividend, then retained earnings. So, what are all the items that you can take up, or these many items? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7 also I can introduce. None of the above. Based on capital employed alone, you can define what is net profit. Now, capital employed can be this way. Equity share capital plus preference share capital plus reserves and surplus plus long-term borrowing minus miscellaneous expenditure, or equity share capital plus preference share capital plus reserves and surplus minus miscellaneous expenditure, or capital employed, it could be equity share capital plus reserves and surplus minus miscellaneous expenditure. Between the three, one can be taken up for the purpose of discussion. Supposing it is capital employed equal to equity share capital plus reserves and surplus plus preference share capital plus reserves and surplus plus long-term borrowing minus miscellaneous expenditure would mean, what should be the meaning for the net profit? Then the answer is PBIT. Reason is very simple. For equity share capital, what is the compensation you pay? Equity dividend. What is the compensation you pay for preference share capital? Preference dividend. What is the compensation you pay to? So the term net profit should be before deducting towards equity dividend, preference dividend and interest. Therefore, it is profit before interest and taxation. Because only at this stage you are not, or only at this stage you have compensation for all the three stakeholders there. Supposing if it were to be after deducting towards long-term borrowing, then what do you mean by net profit? So then it could either be PBT or it could be PAT. Correct? Next, if it were to be capital employed with only equity share capital plus reserves and surplus minus miscellaneous expenditure, then you can understand that it should be a profit after deducting towards preference dividend. So therefore it is equity earnings. So never you can have retained earnings. So please be careful. So what is that carefulness? It is not that I am saying don't use retained earnings. So what I am trying to convey is that firstly you ask what is capital employed. Based on that you find out what is the meaning for the term net profit. There is one particular thing that we may have to take it up. For in this case, I told you it is profit before interest and taxation. So in some problems, what you can find out, they would have given you profit after taxation, but no taxation information you find. On such occasion, what is that we are expected to do? Add back interest. So it is profit before interest and taxation we expect. Sometimes in a place where you don't have that information of PBIT, you may take even profit after taxation with interest added back. And there is no such problem for these two items. Are you clear? So now let us just know what is the term for, what is the meaning for net profit in the second case. In this case, net profit would mean it is profit before taxation or profit after taxation. In the next case, what is the appropriate meaning for the term net profit? It should be equity earnings. Is that clear? Kindly just make note. This basic thing of what is return on capital employed is very much required to proceed further. Because I have suffered with the institute study material on many textbooks when I was a student, and in fact I stapled it not to study valuation of shares and goodwill. Because not even one problem I could read it right. So the reason is very simple. In one problem he is taking profit after taxation, in another problem profit before interest and taxation. So therefore it becomes very important that you define what is capital employed. Before defining capital employed, do not take up any computation on net profit. Net profit meaning is whatever arrow mark that is just dropped down, it is an indicator of the meaning of net profit. Remember, this is the order in which we are expected to prepare that income statement so that you can understand what is that meaning, or PBIT, PBT or PAT and all that.